Alrighty guys, hi, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm just going to get into it. As you can tell, I'm in my vehicle. I'm actually at work, and I am just to a point where I kind of want to talk about some stuff. And of course, this is going to be relating, if you can tell the title, it's going to be relating to Katie. Sorry if this is shaky. Sorry if the quality is crappy. I'm having to film this on my phone. I am just feeling a certain kind of way, and I want to talk to you guys and put out a video. If I could go live and have the time, I definitely would, but I don't have the time today. So I want to get my thoughts out while I have them fresh on my mind. I took some notes about some of the things that I want to hit on specifically. If you are not new to Katie Joy, you are probably monitoring her, following her behaviors, watching her content. A lot of people are watching everything that happens with her right now, and I mean, it's honestly, it's like a crapshoot. There's always something, always some kind of drama. So I definitely do understand people keeping up with her. I, for a while, had not been watching her content or anything like that, and just watching the other creators who have discussed her. But I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter last night, and I went to go watch the live, but it was super late, like in replay. So I had tried to save it to watch it later, and of course this morning when I went to go see what was going on, it wasn't available. One of my subscribers has actually reached out to me with it kind of ending up affecting them as well. So overarching, I am going to talk about the live stream at hand from last night, but what really has gotten me to the point where I feel I have to, like, I feel it almost necessary to make this video is the reason that I personally am frustrated about this is the fact that Katie Joy has notoriously and continuously tried to say that she is an advocate for all kinds of things. She's tried to claim that she has used her platform to advocate for autism, that she has tried to advocate for medically needy individuals, that she has tried to advocate for parents of medically needy children, that she has tried to advocate for SA people, survivors of that. And in every instance that she tries to make this claim that she is an advocate, I get overly frustrated because none of her actions that I have ever seen has indicated she is any kind of advocate. Now, this is my personal opinion. If you feel she is an advocate, then that's fine. But personally, from my viewpoint, I don't see how she is an advocate. She wants to tell her story. Absolutely. She wants people to know what hardships she has been through and what trauma she has experienced. And I am guilty in the same sentiment. I talk to you guys openly about things I have struggled with, hardships in my life, trauma I have experienced in my life, but I have never, and I will never, try to silence other people and get frustrated and get mad that the focus isn't on me. If you are an advocate, you want to spread awareness. You want to lessen the stigmas. You want to create a community, a sense of belonging, a sense of understanding, because you may have something in common. The way she handled herself in that live stream, which of course I did not see all of it, I will link EKCPeoplesucks channel down below. Her and Tina were the only reason I was able to get more context than what I was seeing on Twitter. I am so upset. I am so upset for the members, mind you, because all of her live streams are members only. Her members who felt comfortable enough on her platform to be vulnerable and say some of the trauma that they have experienced. I'm not going to say their names here because I'm not going to do that to those individuals who wanted to disclose personal information about themselves, but one of these members disclosed that they actually had lost their child. And Katie got upset that the chat wasn't focused on her, that people were having their own conversation. Any kind of advocate, when you're talking about a serious issue, in my opinion, would not silence or try to make the people who are consoling someone feel bad. That is exactly what I witnessed. I witnessed Katie saying, you guys aren't listening to me. You guys are engaging with these other members in the chat. You're not listening to me. I wish people would listen to me. I mean, they clearly were listening to her. I mean, logically, they had to have been listening to her experience to be able to provide their own experience. She should feel lucky that members and people on her channel want to be vulnerable and express themselves in her chat. It is not easy to be vulnerable online. And you have people who not only are paying you monthly, but that you are going to belittle and diminish their experience when they actually lost a child. Now, I'm not trying to compare what she has experienced with her own son versus what these members were saying, but she was trying to make it seem as if she's the only one who's ever experienced this, and it's terrible for anybody who wants to disclose their own trauma that they have experienced. I have never in my life seen a creator who claims they are one thing, does the polar opposite, and then even lashes out at people who are willing to engage in the conversation. I am baffled. I do not understand how she continues to try and claim that she's an advocate for anything, because her behaviors continually reflect that she is not. These are my opinions, and it's not going to change. And I'm hoping that this is the last time I have to address this. But what I have seen happen from replaying those on EKCPeoplesucks video of her replaying this, I am so frustrated that the one thing Katie always goes to when she ends up in hot water is, I'm an advocate. I've done this. I've done that. I've donated this. I did this. But when regularly on your channel, anytime she has the ability to actually be a good advocate, she hushes people. She silences people. She diminishes. She belittles. She almost berates people about them feeling vulnerable and them telling their story and them trying to have a connection with her. I have a couple of notes here that I took from whenever I reviewed the channel on some of the things that she was saying that I was shocked on. When she addresses that people were in the chat talking about their own experiences, one of her quotes was, now I can't focus on the two people's names. I don't even know if you guys are listening. I mean, she is diminishing what these members of hers have said, what they have disclosed. She's expecting people to feel empathy and sympathy for her, but she does not have the respect for the people who are paying her to even acknowledge or try to understand where they're coming from. Instead, it's not about, this is my channel, it's about me. Since you guys aren't talking about me and feeling bad for me, you guys aren't listening. I do not understand that mentality at all. She continues on and said that because this has happened, her mood was killed today, which is, why even make a comment like that when you're talking about something so serious? I have said time and time again, Katie has the ability to really be an advocate because she does have struggles that not a lot of people face. There are obviously large communities separately who deal with similar things to what she does, but she could really be an advocate. She could really educate and help reduce the stigma around these things, but instead she makes it worse, in my opinion. And no advocate would tell people to not talk about their story, would not empathize with them to even any degree. It was like she went on these live streams and she wanted people to just feel like, I'm so sorry you experienced that. I feel so bad for you. And I know there are people who experience traumatic things, who that is part of their coping mechanism. I talked about recently how when I disclose my stuff, I go the polar opposite. I don't want people to feel bad for me. And I understand that there are people who cope that way. And I can somewhat make sense of it, but not when you have a large platform and you try to convince 135,000 people that you're an advocate and you're sitting here doing this kind of stuff to paying members on your channel. She says a lot of other things that she alludes to, like she made a comment of, man, I just want to share something. I want people to listen. And again, people were clearly listening. To be able to provide their experiences, what they had gone through, they were clearly listening to her. And just because people are in the chat, giving sympathy to others, doesn't mean that they're not still listening to you. They're just trying to be decent humans, which, in my opinion, in this action, Katie was not a decent human, and she was not a decent creator in how she handled that. This one really got to me. Someone advised her to maybe turn the chat off, and she says that people aren't trying to share with her, that they are talking about their own life, and therefore they aren't actually listening. That sentence didn't even make sense. People were sharing their stories, very traumatic and vulnerable situations with Katie and with the people in her chat, feeling like they were in a safe space. To then just have that creator sit there and tell you, you're not listening to me. My story's more important. This is my channel, my platform. Ignoring the fact that she has members only on, I'm assuming, and ignoring the fact that these people are paying her monthly to be a part of her channel. I've talked about how she's treated her members and her subscribers before, but this just really topped it over the line for me, because this was like the final thing. I went on a rant about this whenever she did the similar thing when she got into some controversy about covering the Sophie Long case. I talked about how she wasn't a very good advocate then, and this is just furthering the fact that she claims she's an advocate when it is beneficial to her. But when it's not beneficial to her, when she doesn't think people are looking, she has behaviors like this. And I mean, these are all paying members on her channel. She says she wants people to listen, but she wanted people to not engage with the other people's stories. She wanted it to be all about her, but she claimed that she wasn't trying to make it a selfish act, but it definitely was, in my opinion. She then goes on to say that the people in the parents of the medically fragile community often try to have this competition with each other, in her opinion, of like, my story's worse than yours, or that they understood the medical terms better, something along those lines is what she said. And again, her lack of self-awareness, this is exactly what she was doing to these members who were disclosing very sensitive information. That is so hard to maybe tell a creator, not only that you're paying, that I'm assuming this person looked up to have them react that way on a live stream with other people in the chat had to have been upsetting. At the very least, it was upsetting, right? And who knows, it could have had even further issues. I hope it didn't for that person. I hope they have a good outlet to talk to and get their frustrations out. But it is so damaging for someone to claim they're an advocate and to do this kind of stuff repeatedly with their large platform. She, at the end of it, she just says that she just wanted to tell her story, and she gets off because her husband turned on the TV and she asked him to turn it down, and so she abruptly gets off. Soon after, she goes on to her second channel, and she again tells the same story, which is fine. Like, she wants to get what she's experiencing out, but she makes a comment there that she intentionally went to her second channel to talk about this because she didn't feel like people on her other channel were listening to her. Even though she has consistently for the last however long since she's had the second channel said she was not going to bring personal stuff to her first channel, her Without a Crystal Ball channel, that all of her personal stuff and everything like that would remain on her vlogging channel because she knows people on Without a Crystal Ball don't want to hear that. To me, this was clearly like a sympathy grab, which if she wanted people to feel bad for her, I would advise that maybe she talks to somebody if she's struggling. The last thing that I kind of noticed and I wanted to address is she clickbaited. When she put this on her Without a Crystal Ball channel, she clickbaited this title. It's a serious issue that she's saying she wants to talk about and have people listen to her. She puts it on Without a Crystal Ball, which is known to be about commentary and tea and whatever else you want to call it. And her title was, I almost lost everything on January 13th or 12th or whatever date she put. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're expecting people to take you seriously as an advocate, and you are clickbaiting your own trauma, and then getting mad and claiming people don't care about you on your second channel because they're disclosing the trauma they experienced. But you are an advocate. I'm sorry, this is just, I know that I try my best to always be, very level-headed, but this has happened one too many times for me to allow this one to just go by and not address it. I'm not probably going to address the fact further that I don't believe Katie is an advocate because I'm making that stance here. It is my personal opinion that Katie Joy from Without a Crystal Ball is not a good advocate. She may claim she is. She may try to convince people with donations and fundraising or whatever else that she's a good advocate. That is performative. Her actions in these deleted live streams, in these controversial cases that she's covered, clearly, to me, state that she is not an advocate. I don't really know how to end this video. I am very frustrated, but I do have to get back to work, so I can't sit here longer. Man, guys, I never thought I could be as disappointed in an individual as I am today. So with all that being said, I do hope you guys have a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are. And until next time, bye, guys.